Carbon credits have been a hot topic over the last few years. We were able to catch up with a representative from AGORO Carbon Alliance to get some of their thoughts on how carbon credits can bring value to the producer. Let's talk carbon credits now. Clay Creighton from AGORO Carbon Alliance joins us. You've got opportunities for row crop farmers, but also ranchers. We'll talk about that aspect in a second. But for row crop producers, what's the opportunity today?
Yeah, the opportunity today would be if a row crop producer was willing to either reduce tillage or go to no-till. And we consider those technically two separate practices. So if a guy is doing full cultivation but he wants to reduce it past, that could technically qualify for reduced tillage or stair-stepping it down, vertical till, strip till as we go there. So that's one opportunity. Another one would be cover crop implementation. So if you're brand new to cover crops and want to try ryegrass, that would qualify. Or if you've already been doing rye, and let's say you want to add a legume species like a pea or a vetch or a clover, that would now qualify as well too. And that's a relatively new practice we have. Then the last piece is more around nitrogen management, so synthetic rate reduction. So if you're either lessening what you've been doing on average for synthetic or replacing, can technically qualify you. So if you utilize a manure or if you went to more split application, there are ways we can get qualified around that.
For our viewers today that say, I've been no-till for the last 20 years, I've been sequestering, do they have an opportunity, or do you have to truly make a change to be able to qualify for some of these programs?
So I would say at least have the conversation, at least check with the growers, because even if you don't qualify necessarily for the no-till because you've been doing that, maybe you qualify for the nitrogen piece, or maybe you want to try cover crops in that half section over there or something like that. And then we can still see potentially the benefit of that no-till that you've been doing too. So I think there's still ways we can get the benefits of that acre involved. It's just finding the right practice, that additionality change so you get that acre qualified.
How about for ranchers today? There's some opportunities for them as well in this space.
Yep, absolutely. So that's been a pretty big opportunity for us recently, and especially the fact that we can offer both. It's huge for Nebraska, like some of in southern Iowa, some of these areas that farmers have both. So on the range of pasture side of things, first one would be grazing management. So there's a number of different ways you can qualify for this one, like rotational grazing, like alternating rotations, or if you wanted to add some additional cross fencing, or if you wanted to adjust stocking rates, or I've even had growers, they would use water sources to rotate, not necessarily move them like themselves like manually, but use that as a rotational method. So it's all different methods that you can get involved in grazing management. The next piece would be biodiversity or seeding. So it's just like it sounds, you go out and seed a new species. All we need to know is what species you choose and how'd you get it out there. But the nice part about that one is you only have to do it one time during the duration of the contract. And then lastly, for the range of pasture piece would be fertilization on those acres. So a lot of times we'll have growers that kind of seed and fert together type deal. So you can get more germination factor on that. And similarly to the seeding, you only have to do it one time to be able to qualify. And we just have to know the end source and then what rate you go. You can technically use synthetic if you want to, but you can use a compost, a manure, things of that nature.
The carbon credit program, as I understand it, correct me if I have this wrong, working with producers, implement some practices, they're compensated for that. Ultimately, that carbon credit is sold to someone else to help offset their carbon emissions. Can you share with us some of the examples of who AGORO partners with on the, not necessarily the farmer side, but on the other side of it?
So like we're in the voluntary market, so yes, we do. It's companies that have made the pledge to be carbon neutral by 2050, with the Paris Accord Act. So it's a number of different producers. It could be airlines, it could be large motor companies, things of that nature is like who we're selling to. And it does kind of depend, because one buyer might be like, hey, I'd like to buy X amount of credits of your cover crop acres too. And that's what they're interested in. They might not be interested in the range of pasture side of things. So being able to navigate that and figure out what buyers are interested in is a big job too. And we have a full team on that as well.
What's the best way you can convince a producer who's a bit skeptical of the carbon credits? What's the best thing you can say to them to get them on board?
The best thing. I educate first, and I know people think that's cheesy, but like I told you on the way here, I was hired as an agronomist first. So like what I usually say is if you've been interested in it, if you've been thinking about it, and it's, you can get enrolled in the program, you would qualify, it increases your revenue stream on that factor, and you can at least try it out to see if it's right for you. Like if you're in the right program, the program will want to work with you, not you work for the program type deal.